Alright, this is what we're doing. This Cruze, we're taking this radio out and going aftermarket, even after it's been bedazzled. So we're going to be changing this out for a new aftermarket head unit. First things first, we're going to pull this silver piece off around here. You should just unsnap and pull off. Same thing with this silver bezel around here. We're going to just unsnap that off. Here's this piece removed off of here. And then you're going to have to remove this plug and then this plug over here. Here's this piece pulled out, unsnapped. This thing is bedazzled to hell. Here's the back side of it. And there's those two harnesses that we pulled off of the other silver piece. You got one here and one here that we unplugged. So we've got all this removed now. Basically, the next step, we're going to take all of these out. And then we're going to start pulling piece by piece. So we're going to start with this piece, then we're going to do this piece, then we're going to do this piece, and then we're going to do the piece behind it. So a lot of pieces to come out. And these are all 7mm, just to let you know. Every one of them is going to come out. They're all going to be 7mm. So we've already taken these out, and we're going to remove this piece first. Okay, on this piece, there's screw right here, screw right here on the other side. Should be a screw here and should be a screw here, but there's not on mine. So there's two clips behind each one of these sides that you just pull off. So basically, you're going to have screw here, screw down here, and a screw down here. And then you can pull this whole piece off, and then these unclip right here on each side. These are all the harnesses you'll want to unplug, but I'm going to actually just leave it plugged in and set it to the side so that way I don't have to keep plugging and unplugging everything in. And then I'm going to move on to this one here, so I can start removing this piece. Here's this piece removed after we remove the two 7mm on each side, basically on each side. This piece just comes off. We're going to unplug it, and then we're going to remove this piece back here. So we've unplugged this piece, and then we removed both of these 7mm here, and then we're going to pull this piece out. There's also two 7mm on the top. So you remove these two, and then these two, and then this whole unit will come out. So actually I made a mistake. It's not those two. You still have to take those two out to get this out, and then there's two more 7mm behind there. So you have to remove those to pull this piece out to get to those back there, and then this whole silver piece will come out. But then you pull this off once you take these two 7mm out. These are the plugs when you pull the silver part out, which is the brain. This is going to be your main plug right here you're going to be using, and then your XM and your regular radio antenna right here. So that's pretty much it, and now we're going to wire it all up. Transferred the vents from the factory piece to the aftermarket piece. Say goodbye to the bedazzled. Everything on this wires up like normal. your blue with your white stripe, all your speaker leads between white, purple, green, and gray, your red, your yellow. I don't use illumination. The blue with the yellow stripe is going to go to the blue with the yellow stripe that goes for the steering wheel interface. I don't use any of the navigation inputs or outputs, so I'm gonna clean this all up. Then basically we'll plug our plugs into here and everything should be able to be ready to go into the car. Okay, we have everything plugged in, but you need to make sure that 100% you set your steering wheel control module here to exactly what radio you have, and that will tell you in the instructions here. It will tell you what type of radio you have, and you need to set it to that setting or the steering wheel controls will not work. So basically you're just going to plug this big black plug right here, click it down, and then your black plug on here is your antenna adapter. So that's how everything all works. Now it does have a blue wire on it. Do not wire that up. I don't know why they put this on here, but it does not wire up in this car, so don't hook it up. Everything I have here is all connected and working correctly, so I'm gonna now have to just mount it back into the dash. So we have this remounted here with our 7mm. You will have to adjust this in and out to get to fit the bezel. I have adjusted it 4 times, basically almost as far out as I can, if you see, because it's got to come into this bezel and sit into this bezel correctly. So just to let you know, you will probably have to adjust it 3 or 4 times to get it out. So we have this piece snapped back in and plugged in from behind. This piece right here we have screwed back in, snapped back in, but I did not have bolts here like everybody else. I did have to cut right here, so it did not tell me I had to trim that, but I had to trim it to get it to fit around this bezel. So unless this car is different than most, just understand you might have to trim that down there. So I trimmed both sides to be able to get that to fit, just to let you guys know on that. Here it is. We snapped this piece on, got this piece on down here after we plugged these 2 pieces in. Looks really, really, really good. I'm like super surprised at how nice it looks, but fits awesome, looks very OEM.